BCS Radar Episode 9. We're going to jump straight into it. So first we want to give a shout out to the Minnesota Fury girls basketball AAU team. Last year, they signed 10 Division I players for the class of 2024. So big shout out to them. On today's episode, we're going to cover 2 more of those players on that team. But in the past, we've covered a few already. So Olivia Olsen from Benil St. Margaret, she was one of the early episodes. She's going to Michigan next year. And then we also covered Jordan Zubich that played for Mountain Iron, and she's going to North Carolina. And a couple episodes ago, we had Gabby Betton out of Lakeville North, and she's going to Loyola, Maryland next year. And then you had Jocelyn Land, who we did recently, out of Holy Family, and she's going to Butler next year. So shout out to them. So the 2 that we got for this episode is Finley Ohnstad and Marisa Frost. Now we'll start with Finley. So Finley, she was coming out of Lakeville South, the rival school to Gabby Betton and Trinity Wilson, who we did a couple episodes ago, and they had a big clash. Finley had, Finley had 21 in that rivalry game against Lakeville North. But yeah, representing Lakeville South, Finley Ohnstad had a really big year. She's going to be going to Kansas State next year. And Lakeville South had a decent season, finished 17-12, kind of like middle of the pack in the suburban South. But yeah, Finley had a lot of good games, had a 45-point game against Wayzata, 20 against Eastview, 20 against Farmington, 24 against Rosemount. But just overall, from just a high basketball IQ player and real savvy, both on offense and defense. And she just moves at her own pace and doesn't really mess up a lot. You know, like a real smooth jump shot, real smooth game, good three-pointer. And I can see her playing maybe a little inside out in college, maybe the 3, maybe like a stretch 4. So it'll be interesting to see her development for sure. So that's Finley Ohnstad. And then we got Marisa Frost. She was out of Centennial. Centennial had a 17-11 record this year, finished 3rd in Northwest Suburban. And really good player, really good point guard, lefty point guard, smooth handle, good change of pace, type of guard who doesn't really have to do much to be effective. And we know that's always a mark of a good player. She was averaging 22 points a game this year. She had 12 20-point games. She had 4 30-point games. And she's going to North Dakota State next year. So that's going to be very exciting to see. And the side, we got somebody as well going to NDSU. Who you got, Wayne?
Oh, yeah, man. We got the young Andy Stefonowicz. I think I said that name right. You know what I mean? That sounded right. So correct us if we wrong. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, man. But Stefonowicz, man, Andy, man, this kid can take you off the dribble. He has unreal court vision, unselfish beyond measure. You know what I'm saying? You don't see a lot of players that can go out there and give you 30, 20 on a nightly basis, be willing to pass it 10 times more. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, just reading off some of his highlights, I wish, this is going to be my pet peeve, I always say it, I wish we recorded assists here. We don't for some reason. Be better. But, yeah, we might start doing that. I'm talking about, you know, as far as the high school stuff. But, you know, he had 18 points on Prior Lake, 27 on Lakeville South, 23 on Osseo, 25 on, was that Eden Prairie, had 29 on Eden Prairie again. Ooh, yeah, that was personal. That was personal. All right, Andy. He said we friends to the end, goddammit. And, you know, Andy does a lot, man. No, Andy does a lot, man, because Andy actually is a champion, man. You know, he ended this year getting the championship, had a great year. So that's like the biggest accomplishment when you're going on to the next level, having that confidence of you winning before. It gives you a different edge going into college. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Andy, man. And I got to just say, man, if you're playing with him, you have to have your eyes open at all times. You got to have 2 eyes, 2 sets of eyes, because he throwing you the ball when you're not expecting it. I'm watching some of this dude's highlights, and literally I'm like, I had no idea he was going to pass that. So it's good to see that type of thing. He's a real point guard type of player, and, you know, I think he's going to do real good at NDSU next year, man.
Yeah, for sure. We had Yep, so we also got another young man from St. Cloud. A couple episodes ago, we covered Tamarin Ferguson from St. Cloud Tech, but we got another today. Who we got, J.O.?
We got Azayah Washington, and it must be something in the water up there in St. Cloud, because coming from St. Cloud Apollo, Really could put the ball in the hole. 6'2" guard, about to be a senior this year, 2025 graduate. Averaged 33 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, and 3 assists per game. Had 2 50-point games, 4 40-point games, 11 30-point games, and then I'm glad you mentioned Ferguson because they really had a battle, close game. Ferguson ended up with a dub, but Washington had 33, 10, 7, and 4 steals, and it was really a battle. I wish one of us could have been at the game to definitely see that. But just really only scored under 21 time, had 17 once, and they ran into a decent Detroit Lakes team this year. That's where they met their demise in sections, but had a good showing at the NBCA event showcase this summer. Had 18, 4, 2 assists, 2 steals. Plays for Minnesota D1. And this year just became the points leader for boys, scoring all-time, surpassed the previous owner, has 16-18, 1,618 points, scoring 898 points this year. It's a lot of points. Getting downhill, and what I like about him is he doesn't settle for the 3. Lefty can shoot, but he's getting downhill, and he's putting pressure on the rim. So really looking for him to have a good senior year, and I'm definitely going to catch a game this year because that boy nice. So.
Oh, he's a lefty too?
Yep.
Yeah, we covered a few lefties so far. We done did like four or five lefties.
And one more thing, I know they were talking about his sister actually leads the all-time scoring at Apollo for boys or girls. I don't know if he broke it this year. Comment, let me know if you did, but next year he definitely breaking big sis. So shouts out to Azayah Washington.
Oh no, that's big for sure.
Yes. All right, so that's what we got this week for the profile. Be